Great. I want to hit the first thing in your book that really caught my attention, and that was your concept of volume, velocity, and complexity. Can you discuss those three things?
Sure. I think I've talked to you about this before. I pull this kind of three-part combination of influences on the effectiveness, the efficiency of the performance of any individual task, technical skill set. I don't care if it's an air traffic controller or if it's a farmer or it's an Uber driver. You look at it and you say, all right, that Uber driver's got a great personality, gets along with everybody, as long as he only does X number of rides per every number of minutes. Once he starts to increase the volume, then he starts to get a little edgy, a little cranky, a little tired, and maybe the velocity of constantly dropping to pick somebody up like instantly, no break. So now he's hungry, he's thirsty. So you start looking at almost any position, the complexity of the task understood, if altered, can throw that working professional, that technical professional kind of off balance. If they're fine with the complexity, even some increase in the complexity of a task, but you have to do a lot more of those tasks, the volume can have that same imbalancing effect. And then the third thing is, how fast is the work being thrown at them? How fast is it coming across their desk? Sometimes people can think through problems, complex problems, even at volume, and do good work. But if they have to do that, 3 times every 60 seconds, they start to make a mistake. And by stepping back and watching people, those kind of 3 legs or 3 pillars of performance, I would see the wheels wobbling like they were going to fall off. And then I would use those 3 kind of angles of perspective and observation to try to figure out what it was. And from a job design standpoint, if you put them there and they were fine, but say the company's scaled and grown, and now they're falling apart, you did that to them because you didn't either add somebody else to pick up volume, or you didn't add a system or software or something to help with the complexity, or you didn't look at the upstream tasking flow and make sure that the managers and supervisors that are making those tasking demands on this person weren't recognizing that it was coming faster and faster and they had a limit. And I'm talking about anyone from a CEO all the way down. It seems to be universal. It seems to work. And as I mentioned to you another time, in retrospect, thinking back in the SEAL teams, there were officers that had those same 3 things. They were really good at one thing. They started to fall apart when it got complex, or when the decisions started coming too fast, their judgment started to falter. They need more processing time. So I think it works.
Yeah, and I think you're right. It applies at all levels, whether you're the commanding officer, the chief executive officer, or the newest person on the team. Ideally, that seasoned CEO is going to know himself a little bit more, himself or herself, and they'll know kind of where their limits are, or when these things are become overwhelming.